Sir.
Myself.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So for today's discussion, we'll be talking about planting material selection and the preparations that we perform to these planting materials. So the selection of planting material is the first step. First step ulit, dati sabi natin land prep. So yun, planting material selection is the first step of ensuring high yield, high quality of produce sa ating mga crops. There are already modern varieties that are produced and they already acquired modified planting structures which made them more efficient in the production of economic biomass and yield. So there are different types of planting materials or planting cultivars. Ayaw mag-next. So yun, ulit lang, types of planting cultivars, we have the hybrids, which are produced from the crossing of two inbred lines. And seeds that are produced from hybrids will not breed through in the next generation, meaning hindi na same yung kanyang performance kapag inulit mong ginamit as planting material. Then of course, we have the open pollinated varieties or the OPVs. These varieties that can produce true to type seeds. Sabi niya, same performance as their parent plant. So kahit ilang beses mo siyang gamitin as planting material, as long as it is OPV, so same pa rin yung performance niya from that of its parent plant. Then another type of planting cultivars or plant material, we have the transgenic or the genetically modified varieties. So these varieties have alterations or modifications in their genetic composition. Kaya sila tinawag na transgenic or GMOs. Ayun. Next, we also have types of planting materials. Itong kaninang una, types based on their genetic composition. Then dito naman, types of planting materials based on their form. So planting materials are classified into two. We have the seeds and the vegetative planting materials. I hope that you can still remember this illustration. So seeds, then yung isa ay yung ating mga vegetative propagules. Malagip pa lang yan. When yan. So ayun, yung ating asexual plant propagation is tinatawag rin natin na vegetative plant propagation. So ayun. Then lahat ng ating mga green crops, mostly mga leguminous crops natin and ating mga cereals, Fabaceae and Poaceae, lahat ng mga vegetable crops natin, mga fiber crops, then mga fruit crops natin, ang kanilang planting materials ay gamit ang seed. Though sa ating mga fruit crops, mostly ginagamit natin ay yung mga vegetative propagules, mainly gamit ang grafting and budding techniques. Then second type, vegetative materials, specialized organs used as vegetative propagules. Dito na yung ating mga asexual plant propagation techniques, natural, both natural and artificial. Then ang mga cuttings, tubers, bulbs, worms, and rhizomes, etc. Ayun. Now we have here the different vegetative planting materials for our annuals. Annuals, ano ulit ang ating annuals? So annuals by definition are plants that complete their life cycle and in one season. So in one season or in one cropping season, makakompleto na nila yung kanilang life cycle from seed to vegetative to reproductive, then senescence, then mamamatay. Yun yung annuals. They complete their life cycle in one season. Merong ibang definition na nagsasabi na they complete their life cycle in 1 year. Pero that definition is somewhat wrong since yung mga plants natin, their life cycle mostly are in between at most 3 to 4 months lang, hindi 1 year. So medyo questionable yung definition na yun. So yun, for annuals, we have the tubers, bulbs, worms, runners. These are natural plant propagation materials. Yahans, yes. Then of course, we have slips, suckers, corms, and rhizomes. I-discuss na natin ito last time. So, hindi na natin sila i-discuss ulit. Tolyo pakimute. Nice. Then kung may annuals naman, meron din tayong perennials. So perennials, by definition, these are plants that complete their life cycle in the span of more than 2 years. Sa examples ng ating mga perennials ay ang ating mga punong kahoy. Ano pa? Fruit trees natin. So there are two forms of vegetative planting materials for perennials. We have the sexual materials, then we have the plantlets. Asexual materials, these are produced from layering, grafting, budding, and cuttings. Then we have the plantlets. Plantlets, these are derived from micropropagation or tissue culture or cell culture in vitro. Examples ng mga plantlets natin, we have the bananas, orchids, citrus, bamboo, rattan, makapuno. Okay? Okay. Next, let us proceed to the different factors that we must consider in selecting plant materials. So we have here 6 factors. Una, market demand or purpose. Bakit? Why? Apay? Ano yung purpose? Bakit ka nagproduce? Para kanino? Para saan? So dito nakabatay yung ating pagpili ng plant material. Then second factor, we have the suitability of the area for growing. Saan? Where? Saan mo siya itatanim? Is the climate condition compatible? Is the soil type okay for that certain planting material? Is the topography of the land okay or feasible in growing that type of planting material? So yun yung mga questions na dapat nating i-consider sa pagpili ng ating mga different planting materials. Then third factor, we must consider also the yield, quantity, and quality. Gaano karami? How much? Gaano karami yung yield na napoproduce ng ating halaman? Then fourth naman, tolerance to environmental stresses. Kapag sinabi natin tolerance, meaning can withstand, can work along despite the occurrence of such stresses. Gaya ng mga extreme weather conditions like drought, heavy rains, strong winds, mga lindol, typhoons, etc. Then fifth factor, other traits unique to species or variety. So ano ba yung mga traits na pwede natin pang i-consider? For example, sa ating mga fruit crops, sa ating mga bungang kahoy. For example, sa watermelon, we have red flesh at meron ding yellow yung flesh. So dapat rin natin i-consider ito since some consumers prefer red from yellow. So kailangan natin i-consider yung mga factors na iyon. Then last factor, of course, nandyan pa rin yung preference ni farmer or ni grower. Ano ba yung gusto ni farmer? Ano ba yung kaya at hindi niya kaya? And of course, kailangan natin i-consider kung afford ba ni farmer yung ganoong planting material. Okay. Next, let's now proceed to the selecting of good seeds. So we have here factors also in selecting good seeds. Unang factor dyan, of course, the genetic purity. Kapag sinabi natin genetic purity, we're talking about the genetic composition of the seed. Gaya ng pagkakaroon ng mga desirable traits, gaya ng high yield potential, disease resistance, and adaptability to local environmental conditions. So those are mainly based on its genetics. Then second factor, physical purity of composition. So when we're talking about purity, we're talking about the quality of the seed. So meaning it is free from immature seeds, free rin siya from foreign seeds gaya ng buto from weeds and buto from other varieties. Ayun. Then of course, another factor, we have the moisture content. So ang moisture content ng seed, this greatly affects the storability of the seed. So yung maximum limit mainly ng ating mga orthodox seeds ay at 14% moisture content, 8 to 14% moisture content, or even lower. The next factor, capacity of seed to germinate, meaning it is viable, mataas yung kanyang germination percentage. Then fifth factor, yielding ability. So when we're talking about the yield is equal to the genotype plus environment plus the interaction between the genotype and the environment. Yield, yung produce quantity. Then last factor that we must consider in selecting good seeds, it must be free from pests and disease infestation or infection. Okay. Any questions so far? You may just raise your questions kung meron. Pwede lang na mag-interrupt. Awan. Okay, so let's now proceed to the selection of selection of fruits and seeds in the farm. So dito, we'll also talk about the different factors in selecting fruits and seeds in the farm. Panay factors lang itong di-discuss natin. Unang factor, high and uniform grain ripening in annuals. Mostly ito sa ating mga green crops, mga Poaceae. Tanya lang. Ano ba to? Then second, uniform maturity and medium to big seeds or fruits in fruit and plantation crops. We must discard seeds that float in water. Then sa ating mga fruits, ang practice, the most common propagation method na ginagawa na natin sa ating mga fruit trees ay budding and grafting already. So hindi na siya mainly from seed propagation. Kasi nga, via budding and grafting, napapadali or mas nagiging efficient yung pag-control natin or pag-determine sa performance ng ating mga fruit trees or fruit crops. Then of course, in budding and grafting, we must consider the quality of our rootstock and scion, and of course, their compatibility. So of course, kapag pumili tayo ng rootstock, we must choose yung may mga desirable characteristics such as vigor, yung health ng rootstock, then yung disease resistance nito, and its adaptation to different or certain soil conditions. Then sa scion rin, ganun rin, kailangan natin i-consider like factors gaya ng fruit quality, yield potential, and of course, yung demand ng mga consumers or yung purpose ng ating pag-produce. Then pests and diseases. Of course, sa pag-select ng fruits and seeds, we must also consider how these plants or crops react to pest and disease infestations. So we have two types. We have either resist or tolerate. Kapag sinabi nating resistance, meaning that the plant has the ability to overcome the effects of the infestation. Kapag sinabi naman nating tolerance, so tolerance meaning that it can withstand the occurrence of such pests and diseases without any impact or decrease in its performance or yield. So yun yung difference ng resistance and tolerance. Take note of those two. Kapag resist, it can overcome the effects of pest and disease infestation. Then kapag tolerance naman, it can withstand the occurrence of pest and disease without any decrease in its performance or in its yield. Okay, gets idea? Gets. Okay, gets. Next, selection at nursery or seedling stage. So we have here the different factors also. Early germination sa ating mga seeds. So there are different ways for us to measure the germination percentage of our seeds. Kaya ng mga petri dish method, mga ragdoll method, etc. Then of course, para mapadali or mapabilis yung germination ng ating seeds, there are also methods that we perform, gaya ng mga scarification, stratification, and etc. Then of course, we must also consider the vigor of the seedlings. Vigor meaning strong yung ating seedlings and at the same time, healthy. Then third factor, free from pests and diseases, both during seed stage and vegetative, both for seed and vegetative propagules. Especially kapag sa ating mga seedlings, dapat free sila sa fungi that causes dumping off, gaya ng ating mga Pythium, mga Rhizocton esalani, Fusarium, and dapat free rin sila sa mga leaf feeders or mga defoliators. Ayun. Okay? Okay. Next, proceed naman tayo sa basis for selecting a variety. We have here 4 annuals. We have 5 yield quality and quantity. Paulit-ulit lang. Second, resistance to pests and diseases. Third, tolerance to adverse or stress conditions. Fourth, farmer's preference. Then fifth, others. Ano yung mga others? So others, pwede natin i-consider yung price ng variety or yung affordability nito. Oh, wala natin. Okay. For our perennials naman, mainly our fruit crops, these are our basis for selecting a variety. Yung fresh fruits, eating quality, sweetness, texture, color, size of fruit or of its seed. Then juice processing. So we're talking about the juice pulp level of acidity, soluble solids, juice color, juice colored. juice processing, gaya ng level ng acidity ng fruit, soluble solids, juice color, juice colored. Specifications of processing industry. The third basis, early bearing tendency and rapid attainment of peak production. So there are varieties that bear fruits earlier than other varieties. So those are factors for consideration. Then of course, the regularity of fruit bearing. Then fifth, resistance to aerial and soil-borne diseases, economic yield. Then again, hindi nawawala yung preference ni farmer. Yun, basis for selecting a variety for our plantation crops naman. Plantation crops meaning these are mainly yung mga fruits natin that are grown in a monoculture system or monocropping. Kailangan consider yung yielding ability, earliness and regularity of fruiting. Same lang siya actually sa fruit crops. Resistance to pests and diseases, quality of processed products, and other factors unique to species. Ayun. Last, we have here the different seed classes. Okay, ito red, white, red, green, blue, yellow. Breeder, foundation, registered, certified, good seed. So yun yung dapat nyong i-familiarize. Yung color ng tag and yung seed class. Seed class with its corresponding color. Kapag breeder seed, white tag. So breeder seeds is the first stage seed in the generation system of multiplication, and it provides the source of first seed. Then second, foundation seed, red tag. Foundation seed is considered as the mother seed. It is the progeny of breeder seed. Then we have registered seed, green tag. Registered seed is the progeny of foundation seed. So ang registered seed galing kay foundation seed. Then certified seed, blue tag. Certified seed is the final product produced by seed company or growers for commercial sale to crop producers. Certified seed is the progeny of either registered seed or foundation seed. Gets So certified galing siya sa registered or pwede rin siyang galing kay foundation. Si registered galing siya kay foundation. Si foundation galing kay breeder. Okay. Then lastly, we have good seed, yellow tag. Good seed are produced from certified seed, and these are the seeds that are widely available at village levels. So yung unang apat, breeder hanggang certified, so these are recognized by our seed certifying body or yung ating NSIC, National Seed Industry Council. Itong good seed naman, good seed lang ang tawag natin sa mga seeds in circulation. Ito na yung ginagamit ng ating mga farmers. Okay? Okay. So last na talaga. We have here the different types, two types of our seeds based on their storability. Storability, duration of storage. We have the orthodox seeds and recalcitrant seeds. So ang ating mga orthodox, mostly they are small size seeds kaya ng ating mga legumes and cereals. Then they have low water content. It can be lower than 10% moisture content. Orthodox seeds do not lose viability when water content drops. Then they can tolerate desiccation or dehydration. Switching off of metabolism, it has the ability for metabolic switch off, meaning mag-stop siya sa kanyang mag-stop sa pag-produce ng basta mag-stop, parang nag-hibernate, dormancy pala. Then of course, Orthodox has a longer lifespan compared to recalcitrant. They are able to undergo dormancy. Then kapag recalcitrant naman, they are mostly large size seeds, gaya ng mga durian, rubber, jackfruit, avocado, mangga. Those are samples of recalcitrant seeds. They have high water content and they lose viability when water content drops. Then they are sensitive to dehydration or desiccation. So hindi nila kaya kapag nagdra-dry. Then metabolically active, lagi silang active. Then short storage lifespan up to a year or less, unable to undergo dormancy. So yun yung difference between orthodox and recalcitrant seeds. Any question? Any question?
None,
Question?
sir.
Wala. Walang question si Princess. Okay, ako yung mag-question. Okay, so that's all for the topic, planting materials.